In the middle of the 6th century BC, imperial power had a ceiling. For centuries, states like the Neo-Babylonians had functioned as regional powers, their reach limited by the geography of the Fertile Crescent and the Zagros Mountains. But within a single generation, the Achaemenid dynasty shattered that ceiling. They assembled a territory covering 5.5 million square kilometers, a span stretching from the Balkans to the Indus Valley that contained an estimated 35 million people. Governing this required more than just land. It meant managing dozens of distinct ethnic groups with historically conflicting languages, religions, and laws. For most ancient states, expanding this quickly created a lethal level of internal friction. Moving an army to suppress a revolt on one border often left the other three exposed, usually resulting in a rapid fracturing of the central authority. The Achaemenids avoided this by shifting their focus from simple conquest to administrative design. They held this colossal territory together for over 200 years because they treated the empire not as a collection of trophies, but as a single functioning machine. To manage millions of square miles, the central government divided the territory into 20 to 30 administrative units called satrapies. Each was ruled by a local governor, or satrap, who handled the day-to-day legal and financial needs of the region. To prevent these governors from becoming independent warlords, the King of Kings deployed a network of royal inspectors. These eyes and ears of the king conducted surprise audits, reporting directly to the capital to ensure local power remained subordinate to the crown. This oversight allowed the government to extract precisely regulated taxes based on a region's specific strengths. This relief shows the result: grain arriving from the fields of Egypt, while the eastern territories provided gold from India and incense from Arabia. This system created a sustainable flow of wealth to the capital. By allowing local officials to handle the logistics of collection, the central government could fund its massive ambitions without drowning in the paperwork of local governance. While previous empires used public brutality to keep subjects in line, Cyrus the Great introduced a different method of control: state-sanctioned cultural tolerance. Evidence of this is etched into the Cyrus cylinder. It records the release of the Jews from captivity and funding to rebuild their temples. By honoring local deities like Marduk, the kings presented themselves as restorers of tradition, not foreign oppressors. This benevolence was, at its core, a highly practical calculation. Subjects who are allowed to maintain their religions and customs are far less likely to rebel, making them significantly cheaper to rule than a population living under constant military occupation. But the empire still faced the challenge of distance. In the ancient world, a message could take months to cross a continent, making it impossible to respond to a border crisis in real time. The solution was a 2,500-kilometer highway called the Royal Road. Using a relay system of fresh horses and couriers at specific intervals, a royal message could travel the length of the empire in just 15 days. Even with fast communication, trade was still hindered by a patchwork of different local barter systems and currencies, which limited the flow of goods between provinces. Darius the Great solved this by implementing a bimetallic monetary standard. He minted the gold daric, identifiable by this stamped archer, providing a universal currency that turned localized markets into a single imperial economy. These physical and economic roads effectively eliminated the distance between the borders, turning a collection of conquered lands into a cohesive, lucrative state. The Achaemenids applied this same logic of integration to their military. Instead of relying solely on a Persian core, they built a force that utilized the specialized skills of their subjects. A campaign could involve Scythian archers, Phoenician naval crews, and Greek heavy infantry, all fighting under the same banner. The anchor of this diverse army was a professional unit of 10,000 soldiers, known as the Immortals. Every time a member was killed or fell ill, he was immediately replaced, ensuring the unit never lost its strength or its psychological impact. By giving conquered peoples a role in the elite military, the Achaemenids transformed former enemies into active stakeholders in the empire's continued success. This military machine met its match in 330 BC, when Alexander the Great's conquest forced the flight of the last Achaemenid king, Darius III. But after the fires in the capital died down, Alexander made a startling choice. He realized the Persian method of governing was so effective that he kept their administrative structure, and many of their satraps in place. This framework outlived the Persians and Alexander himself. It heavily influenced the empires of the Seleucids and the Parthians, and provided the Roman Empire with its first working model for how to manage a diverse continental territory. The Achaemenids did more than conquer land. They proved a multi-ethnic state can endure by providing the physical and economic infrastructure to connect its people. They didn't just build a kingdom, they established the structural requirements of a superpower.